Hello across the world. My name is Ross Berman. I'm in Los Angeles. This is the Palimpsest project, the project by the International Art Alliance, which consists of 6 artists around the world. And I have to go kind of like around a little bit. And Denise.
Hi, I'm Denise. I'm in Saint Jerome, Quebec.
And I'm Rose and L. Williams, and I'm in British Columbia, Canada.
I'm Stephanie McLean. I'm in a parking lot in Toronto, Ontario, Canada.
Cheryl Wilcox, artist from Australia, New South Wales.
New South Wales. That's NSW. Is that
We're missing Laura.
Missing Laura. Where's Laura today?
I think she's in Barcelona, maybe, or somewhere in
I think it's
Spain,
Barcelona.
maybe Italy. She's very well traveled.
She is.
Yes.
She is. And she lives in the UK. And we've got a lot of world travelers here. Some of you folks have really traveled quite a bit, and all of your expansive experience shows up in your work. So here's my question today. What does my art say about me? Now I'm thinking, rather than you answering that question, how about if we each of us say, oh, I see this in your work, and then have more of a discussion like that, and then maybe the artist can respond or absorb the wonders that are complimenting you, or something like that.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think that's a really great idea.
Okay.
So we'll start with you, Ross.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
let's do that. What does my art say about me? Jeez.
Well, you're funny because a lot of your little one-offs are quite humorous.
Yep.
So we
That's
know
good,
you
'cause
have
I'm aiming for that.
Yeah.
It's not an
Well,
accident.
well,
That's good.
It works, and
slightly
you are funny.
twisted sense of humor. So
But an easy sense of humor. You don't take yourself too seriously.
No, but I also
know what
think
I
you are
mean?
a deep thinker.
Yeah.
Is what I get from
Yes.
your art.
Yes.
yes.
And also
But
knowing
then the
right?
idea, the concept is very simple, isn't it? It's almost like people like to put those speech bubbles above their dogs and their animals. Like you turn your kai into a little into its own identity, don't you?
Yeah.
Like its own little thing with its own little moods or how it's feeling today.
Yeah, that's so. And I kind of love this analogy that it's just like a little cartoon animals. Yeah, that speaks to me. I've never drawn animals, but I do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like you give it legs. You give your high legs. You know what I mean? Like you give it
Yes.
personality. You give it an environment. It's that's very cool.
Mm.
And also
there
your
watching the
other
sunrise.
work is very your other work is very I don't want to say I don't mean graphic, but you can tell that you have like illustrator experience or very drawn. It's very your sketches are really good. Like you can tell that you're a great sketch artist.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah. And then
Yeah,
that, of course, indicates that you're a person who, is interested in observation. You're observing the world
Yes.
around you. So that's what you feed us in your art. And also, I see a strong element of spirituality, somebody who has a connection to spirit in your work, even the funny ones, you're celebrating life high in all of those as well. So that comes across.
Yeah, I agree.
Wow.
So how did we do? How did we do, Ross?
I'm like kind of amazed because whatever the thought is that I put into the pieces and my history of illustration and how I approach whatever that process is as an illustrator, that like everything that you guys have said, and that I'm just amazed, like, oh, that's actually coming through, because I think what we always find when we put things in social media, no, not that we always find, that sometimes we find that people will say things and sometimes it's just crickets, right? So what are we really hearing? What's the feedback? What, is this making sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, and especially over the
Oh.
past couple of years, it's been super quiet in, unless you've been like Denise, literally picking up everything, putting it up there, like making that kind of an effort. So yeah, this is thank you. I guess that's what I have to say about that. And then also, I guess that you're talking about a lot about these kind of the cartoony parts that I'm doing too, which is really pretty new, and I'm glad that's something that sticks with you. That's one of the things that's delivering.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very cool, because I really wasn't sure, and I wasn't even sure if I should do that series.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
But you're enjoying it, right?
I
Mhm.
was.
Well, that's reason enough to do it.
Yeah.
Maybe just dig into the enjoyment of it,
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. That's it.
Yeah,
Yep.
I think that's good enough reason to start any piece of art.
Yeah.
Isn't
Yeah.
it?
Mhm.
Do you want to?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you
That's
feel
really
like
it.
it?
Yeah,
Yep.
it's true.
You feel like it. That's an
Yeah.
even simpler way to express the
Yeah.
whole everything.
Well, and somebody said to me the other
Right there,
day, the fact that you made it doesn't necessarily mean that it has to be art. So we
Huh.
can just create for the joy of creating, and
Right.
not feel that pressure all the time where when you create something, it has to be good enough to sell, right?
Yeah.
So, Denise, what's the difference between creativity and play?
Yeah. Well,
Mm.
exactly.
Yeah.
Well, that's something I've been working with a lot
Playing
lately.
or being creative.
Yeah. But it does take
Yeah.
away a little bit of the pressure.
It's almost like it's a 2-track thing, right? Because I mean, when I was working in graphics and prepping silkscreen and line cameras and all that, that was creative. It was definitely creative, but it was not playful.
Was it art?
There was no play, there was no room for that kind of creativity. It was a different kind of creativity. It was kind of more like
Hello, this is Denise.
when you're cooking for the family,
speaking.
although you're into cooking, but you know what, you have to end up with some kind of edible dinner at the end. So it's not the same as when you're just playing with ingredients and nobody has to eat it.
Yeah.
Mm. Mm.
True.
Yeah.
So who's turn next?
Denise?
Yeah, Denise,
All right,
because
we'll go with Denise.
especially based on what you had just said, because
Exactly.
we've known you're working in a new area. You're concentrating differently, and yet I believe you're still maintaining your I don't know what to call it, your portfolio, your expression of your travel inspired pieces. So what do we see? What does Denise's art say about her?
She loves
That she
to
likes to
travel.
She loves to travel. She loves to take pictures of her travels.
Yeah. And you
She
gotta
likes.
be careful if you get caught if this lady's walking around your city. You're gonna
That's right. Be
photo.
prepared.
But what does
to
it actually,
have a-
Bill Rose? What does that say about what you know that from like a behind the scenes kind of perspective? But what does that say about Denise? Like, how do you read that in her picture? What does it say about her?
Denise, it goes beyond being an observer. She's kind of almost stealthy. She's like a detective. Denise is like the Sherlock Holmes of travel photography because because she needs people in her images, not just static buildings. And it
Mhm.
takes it to a different level. The art itself is a different level, but that also tells us something about Denise. She's not interested in the empty street at all. She's interested in what's happening, the people, how they're interacting with each other, and the possibilities of how they could interact in her
Yeah,
imagination.
that's so true, right? The possibilities of how people could interact
Right.
and the kind of the story, like I think that comes through.
Yeah.
Denise, you talked about your imagination and how you place these people in your mind and what their relationships are, and I think that really comes across in your work, and that really comes from your heart. That care for people in their environment.
Yeah.
Right.
And also the way that you put your art together and the kind of complex layers,
Yeah.
that lets me know that you're the kind of person who likes puzzles, because you're almost making a puzzle out of
Yeah.
your artwork.
I do
Yeah.
enjoy
And
puzzles.
she's
yes.
organized. And
Ah.
she's organized.
Ah.
Yes, very organized, super organized. Yeah, for sure.
To say the least.
Yeah. And another thing.
So Denise, what do you think?
Yeah, that kind of sums me up in a nutshell. I would say.
Do you think we missed something that's
And you're
super
probably into
important?
textures. Sorry.
I am very
Oh,
much
yeah.
into textures. Yeah.
Texture.
You know what? Another thing that I would say is that Denise is not just so her art is a product of not just painting, not just photography, but a mix of the two, and of just like hands-on sort of texture creating, right? So
Yeah.
her art, she wants to be able to feel everything. She wants to be able
travel
to
it.
yeah, she wants to be able to feel everything. She wants to be able to paint it. She wants to do everything on that canvas so that her audience can really feel where she was. That's what I find.
Yeah, maybe the other thing is too, yeah, it's really more about the traveling. Now that I'm thinking about it, I'm sort of thinking memories. No, it's kind of more about traveling, walking down the street. What do I see?
Right, but
Oh,
she's
using the
creating
city.
memories.
Yeah.
Creating memories from those things. Yeah.
From the travel. Yeah.
And retrieving them too.
Yeah.
Right.
Like that. Yeah.
I'd be really interested, once I figure that whole abstract thing out, to see how this changes.
That says about you.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
that's
I love
completely
that.
different, right? That's not
I
at
love-
all like related in my travels or anything.
I
Although
don't think you're
it
going
might
to
be in
figure
the
it out.
future.
You don't figure out art. You know that.
Yeah, I do. My
Don't
husband
you
came
think
in
you've
the
got
other
it
day
figured
and he was
out?
like, "So I'm interested to hear what you're going to be writing about this." And I'm like, I don't know. Yes.
It's abstract. I can do what I like.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, but I don't want it to be empty, and I don't think it is empty. I just haven't figured out yet what it's about.
Just keep going.
Yeah.
Just keep going.
It's like taking a path down in the woods. You really don't know where it's going to end up.
Yeah.
You're just sort of experiencing it as it happens.
Yep.
Yeah.
Making it up
really
as I
empty.
go along.
No.
No, it's not at all.
No.
But is
It
that a bad thing,
and
though?
I think because it's a contrast between between your what do we call it? Between your
The other style.
yeah.
Yeah, well, I
Because
wonder if
it
that's
really is.
If that's an issue, though. If my other work is so clear about what it is, and then you start something and you have no freaking clue.
Who cares? That's a great thing. I
like
could
gold,
have my
isn't it?
exhibition. No friggin' clue. Who's in?
Of the journey, because we're going to see when you feel that this new work is done, and then you're happy to reveal it. That's when we'll see of you what's in there, right? Maybe it's going to be a whole other side of Denise that Denise doesn't even really know yet.
Yeah.
We do all change as we grow and evolve through life.
Yeah.
Which is kind of one reason why it's hard to just stay static and do one thing your whole career.
Yeah, because I was kind of wondering this morning. I woke up early. I do that sometimes. Whether I should insert that travel element into the abstract art just to make it more cohesive as a whole. Because I have ideas about how I could do that, potentially.
Okay, that sounds great.
Well, does it? I mean, it kind of begs the question, Denise. Is that like an intellectualization of, making something happen, or is it really like out of your insides that you're going to express?
Well, that's what I'm wondering.
Yeah.
So,
Or is
I guess trying it will determine.
Yeah, probably.
But I wonder too. No, let me restart that. We had all done a course together in which we were talking about the why we were doing what we were doing, and Cheryl, it looked like you're trying to remember what we had done, but but what I saw just in this past week is oh, I forgot, that was like a marketing thing, right? Like the purpose of all of that was communicating as a marketing thing, and it really had nothing to do with the creating part of it actually. And
No.
and once I saw that, it was like really just clean the windshield for me. So I'm wondering if that's a takeaway for you, Denise, that whatever the why is, it's like like
Yeah.
you're doing it for your own compelling reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Make it up.
Yeah.
Everything's
And
made up, so
I
just make
feel
up
like
something else.
I'm getting somewhere, so I'm happy with that. And I don't think it needs right now for me to add something, to shoehorn something in there that doesn't really need to be there.
No, you got to kind of let yourself follow your own muse, and that muse doesn't listen to anybody else and has no other concerns.
Oh, what a good point. What a good point.
Well, yeah, like each of our own individual muses have their own considerations, and it has nothing to do with marketing or what other people think or what we can afford. Nothing, nothing to do with that.
No, and it should just be okay to create without knowing why, like without having the pressure to explain it right off the bat, right? Because that's sort of the pressure that now I think most of us feel, especially because of social media, that you always feel like you have to tell a story, and you always feel like you have to explain what you're doing, why you're doing it, document every single step of it.
No mystery.
What would happen if you just played it in terms of referenced it almost to some of the greats of the abstract expressionists, the colour field, Mark Rothko, I don't know, Apollock, and what if you actually just even wrote the post about that? Just feeling my such and such, just like such and such did, left it at that. There you go. That's one way that you could, just feeling my Mark Rothko this morning or whatever, or you know what I mean? Like the great whatever. I mean, you could paying homage to Monet. There you go. Whatever you want.
Yeah.
But Cheryl, you've got a good point, because Rothko's a good example of how having a why written on the wall beside that painting is going to mess up your experience of that Rothko.
Mm-hmm.
Because like when you go and you're experiencing a Rothko in person, that's a physical impact, an immediate sensory experience, and that's what he meant it to be. And if we have to narrow it down to some written why on the side, or a part below his social media post, that's almost like interfering with the experience of art.
I mean that's always been that. We're off topic a little bit, but it's always been a great debate, hasn't it, in art galleries? How much information do I put beside an artwork, or do I just let the viewer?
And I feel that it is more.
Is it your turn?
Yeah, let's do something else.
That's one way that you could. I mean, I think that a lot of your work anyway has that. The black and white, big sort of shapes, big compositions anyway. So you could just take that, your compositions that you've got, and then with some of your verticals and bits and pieces. But you could start. Actually, you could start with one of your paintings.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think you're ready to really show these yet, anyways. So you've got plenty of time to work that out. We're really at a certain point in our show. I don't know if we have time to go for. I think we got to split this up into 2 episodes, maybe.
Oh, we can do that. Yeah,
let's
sure.
For Stephanie, while Stephanie's here, because Stephanie's got to go.
Let's do one more.
It's about her.
So you know what? My phone was so hot. There was a message on it saying your iPhone is going to something about your iPhone is too hot. So I had to.
Yeah.
I had to turn up the AC in the car and put my phone take off the case and put my phone right near the AC. Wow. So that's why I wasn't here.
Well, that's a reflection on our climate change and our what's going on in the world right now. It's really hot in the world,
and how hot I am.
Yeah.
Okay, so what does Stephanie's work say about her?
She's interested in people. She's interested in animals. She's interested in energy. Stephanie's interested in everything.
Yeah, Stephanie's interested in music, and we know that she's had a history. That's very that's very close to her. Being a performer.
Interested in the stories behind the performer's facade. And so in the paintings, you see that it's like got an impact visually, but then you're kind of like, oh, what? There's more about this person. I want to know more about who this person is. So if I didn't know who Mingus was from your portrait of Mingus, I would have been like, something's going on with this guy.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, that's what I hope to convey.
Yes, and Stephanie's use of color, I think, helps to elevate. Almost like those are the words of the story. It's not just like the form of the person. It's like putting these colors down to describe the planes and all that really has an exponential. It's an exponential force. It's almost like singing. I guess that's yeah.
Cool. Well, that's nice to hear.
I think you're I think that you like to you're really spontaneous, impulsive maybe. Like I've got this idea, I can do this.
No, I am. You're right. I am. Do I? Wow. How do you know me that way?
Because the way that you when you took on your zodiac little pieces, and and then you were doing your earth, and your women and other bits and pieces, and you were just getting an idea and just go, oh, I think I'll try that. Just doing it.
Yeah, it's true.
And willing, like really willing to go to this, like, will this work? I don't know. Let me try that. And sometimes like mashing it up to a not dangerous exactly, but kind of dangerous. Like that's cool, right?
Yeah. Remember that the one that you did with the women with the fiery hair? I mean, the composition in that's really unusual. Most people would always, they do a square, put something in the middle of it. Really, I mean that's just that's
like
game. I mean, to take on that composition of the hair. I mean, the fire in the hair.
Yeah.
The fire hair. Yeah.
And you can see that you have that kind of spontaneous, willing to take a chance on doing something different, even when the way you did the basquiat with the adding the textures and the formed objects, and it's kind of like you had the idea. You thought I'll give it, and it worked out so well.
Thanks. I like that piece. Thank you. That's nice.
So it's like we can see in your work that you're the kind of person, you're not rigid. You're willing to kind of go down different roads. Maybe they're not gonna, be the one you stay on, but you're willing to kind of check it out. Which of course that's how you innovate in your work, right?
Yes, yeah. Good to hear.
So Stephanie, what do you think about what we hear in your work?
Yeah, well, I don't know. It seems kind of on, I guess. Yeah, I guess I'm spontaneous kind of. I am kind of impulsive. I gotta say, to my detriment sometimes, oftentimes actually. But I do like to explore different things, and the Basquiat one was a lot of fun. As a matter of fact, I'm going to do more of that because I like that. That's something that I stumbled on. That I realized, like, no, I really like the mixed media. I like that a lot. It really speaks to me. I like tangible stuff.
Yeah.
It was interesting, and you're probably a bit of a collector. The way that you were collecting, was it the swizzles that were around the bread or the clothes?
Milk,
something that you were
milk and bread tags. Yeah. Well, no, you know what? I just collected the milk tags or bread tags, whatever you want to call them. In Canada, we have 3 this milk that comes in like this main bag, and then within that main bag are 3 plastic bags of milk that you put in like a pitcher kind of thing that holds these bags. So sorry, the outer bag is fastened with that clip, but I collect. I know it's a long.
Ross is so confused right now.
Like, who cares? Who the hell cares what you put your milk like in Canada?
That's not what I'm laughing about. It's just that you have bags of milk in Canada. It's just like. Canada. Okay.
Yep.
Yes, we do.
Who knew it was that different?
Yeah. Anyway, my son drinks a lot of milk, so I collect the bag. I collect the clips because they're plastic, right? I'm like, oh, I don't like that. So I use them for other things, but Yeah, I have like a cup of those clips.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
elastic
yeah,
bands, rubber bands too. Yeah. Anyway,
yeah.
but
Yeah.
so I don't think I'm a hoarder, but yeah, I collect like stuff that I think is bad for the environment. And I
Yeah.
kind of think of how can I reuse this, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Sweet.
Very purposeful.
Appreciated.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Have we done Cheryl? Did I miss Cheryl's?
No, you didn't. I'm next.
So Cheryl. Let's see.
Oh, what do we know about Cheryl? We know Cheryl.
Well, it's not what we know about Cheryl. It's what are we hearing in her work, right?
Well, I
Like,
mean, we know about Cheryl through her work
okay.
that she has a masterful brush strokes. So obviously she draws a lot.
Yeah. She has a very strong sense of composition.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
And
she's
color.
working out those experiments, obviously, before we see the final product.
Yeah.
Yes.
And also a
But
very
we
strong
know
sense
that
of
Cheryl
color.
is meticulous. Cheryl is meticulous in her preparation.
Yeah, that's true.
Absolutely.
Because
Yeah.
you do this
And
tonal map beforehand, right? The tonal maps that you do beforehand. That's so cool. No, I admire. I really have a lot of respect for that. It's something that I want to kind of explore myself.
Yeah,
Do you
and
guys
we-
see these things?
Oh wow!
Did you
Check
make that
it
one?
out.
Is that a color wheel? You just created a color wheel?
That's a Yumly, a Yermly. You ride my bus, cousin Gus. Sorry, goes like whatever.
You ride my bus.
You ride
cousin.
my bus cousin.
So yellow. What is
that
it?
like
It goes yellow,
every
red,
Girl, boy,
magenta,
every good boy deserves
blue.
fudge.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
I
That's it.
love that you ride my bus, cousin.
So this is
So yellow, red. My doesn't. There's
Magenta.
No
you know
element.
how
Oh,
Blue,
magenta.
green.
you know the old fashioned color wheel
Cousin.
only has like the yellow, the red, and the blue,
Yeah.
and so it's a little bit unbalanced.
Yeah.
And so
Oh, I
often
love
what
that.
I
You ride my
do,
bus.
I know this sounds really, but to get rid of all the confusion of it, because there's too many
Oh
colors.
no, that's smart. That's good. That is like a color wheel. Like that is like the triad. The
So yeah. And so
Wow.
what I do is I mix up that color, I mix up that color, I mix up that color, and then I mix up what's in between here, what's in between there, what's in between there. And that kind of keeps me sensible, because otherwise, and that's what's behind me, and that's only those colors. That's all I've used. So I keep like, so I was
amazing.
just keeping it tight.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to
Yeah,
say. Like
nice.
she has a very academic approach in how
Yes.
she approaches
But
her.
a really full
Yes.
expression.
Mhm.
It,
Yeah.
You know, like it's accurately portrayed, but freely portrayed. And that, I think that speaks to Cheryl's whimsy and humor and, you know, just like ability to generate a zillion ideas at one time. They just
You know
like
the
come
really,
to her
you know
and-
the weird thing that I was trading the stock market, that I'm kind of good at maths.
Yeah, we've
mentioned
talked
that
about this before.
Yeah.
I know, isn't that weird? I mean, yeah, it's weird. Yeah, and I
No, I
often
like
think
math
that's
too. I'm. It's weird
Yeah.
that I also, and we're both cancers. Look at that.
Yeah. But I often think that's the weird, you know, like the being, because I've always been, you know, it's always been portrayed, oh, obviously you're not very good at maths. No. I was very, very good at maths. I was very good at art. Like they were my two things. I'm not good at writing.
Yeah, you're pretty good at writing too, but that's a different story.
No, but I'm just saying, yeah. But I have often had my friends will say that, oh my God, you can just see that maths thing and you can just see it in your paintings. Anyway.
The other thing we can see in your paintings is that you have a very emotionally deep connection to the environment around you.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Yeah, it's the best
Yeah,
thing,
that-
isn't it?
that totally comes through in your
Yeah.
Being
work.
out and about.
Like a real authentic connection. You're not just looking at it, you're in it. And you can tell in your work.
You feel it.
Thanks.
Yeah, you're
It's true.
identifying with it.
No, it is true. Yeah.
So Rose.
Yes.
Yeah,
Rose
Rose.
is easy.
Is she?
Yeah.
Well, she's
Yeah.
expansive.
Well,
You know,
Yes.
I think
I love how much Rose puts into everything. And
Yeah.
like, to me, that just says, that describes the kind of person that I know Rose is. She's like, is interested in everything and somehow also knows about all of those things that she,
Yeah,
you
you
know,
know a
like,
lot of shit.
she knows
bro.
so
You
much.
really do.
Yeah.
You really do.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
She does.
has had such an expansive career,
Yeah.
you know, based on many, many, many reasons for why she went from one to another, starting as a photographer and doing graphic design and
Yeah.
coding and all this kind of stuff, and then pulling it all together and putting
Yeah.
it into this, like how the light sunlight print is sort of like developing a photograph, and then but it's like totally different and it comes from a completely different place, but it's like all you. I just
Yeah.
yeah.
Rose is a
You know,
force
to
of
me-
nature, inspired by
Yeah.
nature.
Mm.
Woo!
I love the way. I love the
Well,
way
you
that
also
you make your
represent-
stuff into clothes. Sorry, and the way that you sew in that. I
Yes.
think that's really, yeah. That's.
I find that
well, you sew also.
Yes.
Mm.
And I find that you strike a good balance between science and spirituality, like just overall, like you as a person, right?
Yeah.
And that comes through in your art because like the sun prints, and yet but your love of nature, you know, just it's all very Rose.
Yeah.
And I like the dog. You know, Cobalt. What?
yeah, Cobalt.
He is the best dumb mistake I ever made.
Aw. Yeah. I know. I know. They're lovely, aren't they?
Yeah, well, it's funny that you guys say that because you know, like I'm a product of my parents, and my dad taught science and my mom taught children with special needs. And so there's that kind of very deep spiritual kind of connection as a teacher and a caregiver that my mom kind of gave me. Plus she taught me how to sew.
Yeah,
Oh.
that's great.
And
So do you,
and my
tell
dad
me about your sewing. When did you do all, like, when did that?
yeah, my mom taught home ec when I was a kid, and part of home ec in those days was she taught her students how to sew, how to cook, everything. And I was quite young, and she was cutting out patterns and on the floor and just showing me how to do it. And my aunt, my dad's sister, was a textile artist. My aunt was a seamstress extraordinaire who specialized in white on white embroidery for christening gowns.
Oh, wow.
She actually traveled the world on she lived and worked in Trinidad, but she was able to make enough money doing that because she was so talented that she traveled all over the place, Amazon, everywhere, to just on the proceeds of her embroidery and her sewing. So it is
amazing.
something that I come by really honestly. It's a legacy that I'm so proud that was passed on to me, and it has a lot of deep connections in the people of my background who were indentured servants and slaves, and being able to sew was something that could take you to a different level in life. In teaching your children how to sew, they could take care of themselves better, they could look better, present themselves better, and move ahead. So there's a deep history about that, and recycling everything in the sewing is actually a whole kind of just tradition that I was raised with.
Yeah.
It's something new that I came up with. It's a tradition.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
I'll do stuff like that. I'll make tops out of scarves and other kind of weird things.
Yeah, first thing I sewed was a skirt made from a pillowcase.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Or a skirt made from ties. You know, you can sew them all together and they're kind of funny. You can just do these really weird things.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's just it's great to hear that that what's really important to me comes across in the work. That's great. Thanks, guys. What a little interesting thing we just did here.
Yeah.
this
I
was
know,
really
it's cool. It's very cool.
We'll get
always
together
interesting
with
to find how other people perceive of us, right? Anyway.
Yeah.
yeah, totally. And we'll get together with Laura. We'll hear from her. We'll not hear from her. We'll
Next week.
she'll hear from us.
Roast Laura
She'll hear from us, yeah.
But
Hey, I've got a box. We have time for this?
yes.
Let's do the box.
Okay.
Yes.
This came from
I haven't gotten a box for months, so
Yeah.
this is exciting.
All the boxes are with Ross now.
You will.
Sorry.
I'll tell you more later.
Promises, promises.
All the boxes are with Ross.
I had
Well, at least they're keeping each other company.
Which one is this, Ross?
this one is from.
Is this our lost baby?
I thought it was from you. Let's see.
If it has your name on the back really big, it is.
Yep.
Yep.
This is the one that was
Mission in
Lost.
action for a bit.
missing in action.
Oh, that's good. We found our
Missing in
lost child.
action, and now you.
Special qualities of a mail art project is the component of getting lost in shipping.
Yeah,
And found
Nice.
again.
and found again.
Goodness.
Luckily.
And, oh gosh. And now UPS is talking about going on strike.
Oh God.
Great.
Yeah. So who did we just lose?
Nobody.
Nobody. I have to split kind of soon, but
Well, not until I open this.
There he was. Somebody wants to see
Oh my
it.
goodness. Okay. Passport. Yay.
Woo!
And oh my God, this is so exciting.
This is very
Drum roll,
exciting.
please.
I really have no idea what to expect here at all. I should do it like this. Can you see? Ouch. Can you see more of
Ooh,
the
haven't seen this
unveiling this
for a
way?
while.
I know, right? It's been such a long time. I don't even remember what I did with it.
Such a long time, such a long. What'd you say? You forgot what you did?
I forgot what I did, yes.
Keeping it fresh, right? Okay. Oh gosh, there's been some damage.
what?
Yeah.
Really?
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Oh no, and also the glassine is sticking.
Oh.
There's
Oh,
been
dear.
damage?
Damage.
that- No damage.
What? What?
Oh.
Holy
That must mean they must have
How-
opened the box then. They must have opened the box.
They opened the box.
They
What
opened
the
the box
fuck?
because the box is fine, right?
The box is fine.
The box is fine.
What jerks, man! Oh,
They
see, they probably
went-
tried to steal it. Then they saw it and they're like, "Oh, what are we gonna do?"
Wow, this is cool though. Oh my goodness.
Anyway, it makes for a
Wow.
good story, I guess. Fuckers. Sorry. Oops.
Wow, it's
Oh, that's
beautiful.
nice.
Isn't
That's
this
really
neat?
pretty.
Damaged.
I think
And
the
the
damage needs to be incorporated into the.
I
Yeah,
think
it
the damage
does.
needs to be incorporated too to make the
Yeah.
best of it for
Oh,
sure.
it's come along so beautifully though.
Beautiful.
Oh,
It is really pretty.
So this is
Wow.
very curious. The box is intact, but the
Uh-huh.
paint is not.
yeah. Who made that
Yeah.
box, gang? Let's say all at once. Say
Master
That's
bag.
Master
Nothing to do with the
Pack.
damage to the painting, though.
Okay,
the
so
box is
listen to
great.
that. They had to take it out of the box to damage
They
it.
did.
They had,
Wow.
yeah.
and what an
Bye,
odd.
guys. Sorry, I gotta run. Bye.
Bye.
Bye,
Bye,
sis.
Stephanie.
See you next
Bye.
time,
Okay,
Nice to see
Ross.
because
Can
with
you
the
take-
titanium plate, that would not have happened.
Uh-huh.
Can you take pictures of the outside of the box and pictures of the painting, the
Yeah.
damage on the painting from the front and the back, so I can get after the shipper because this is not right.
No,
No.
that is not right.
And I have a question, just curious, is the glassine was damaged and torn?
The glassine.
Should we say goodbye and then we can talk?
Yes. Let's say goodbye. Bye,
Let's
everybody.
say goodbye.
See you next
Bye.
time.
We've got a mystery to solve. Bye.
Yes.
Bye.